It's Accutane time! Yeah! Hey everyone, welcome to week 18 of my Accutane adventures. It's been a long journey and it's getting a little better, right? I think it's getting a little better. This week I actually had the biggest cyst I've had yet. Seriously, the biggest one. I mean, I think you guys remember the one that was like right here was pretty big, and I had one on my cheek was pretty big, but this one was just like mind-blowing, and it came like that. It just happened, right? So what I'm about to show you is right after I took a shower. I literally had the GoPro with me right after I got out of the shower, and so you know after you get out of the shower, all your stuff comes to the surface because it's all hot, right? So it was really white, and I just put my finger on it. I just pushed on it a little bit. And it drained. Ew, it drained. Ew. So, if you don't want to see me drain my cyst, it's about to be really gross. But I want to show you guys everything. I want to show you guys the real happenings of what Accutane does. So if you're not wanting to see that, look away from your screen right now. And when you hear me say you can turn back to the video, you can look again, then you can look. But warning you now, this is about to get really gross. Roll the footage. So I'm really sorry that I had to show you guys that, but I did try to warn you, right? Hopefully that's the last cyst that I get. Hopefully it really is, but we don't know. You know, I could have another one that pops up right there on my nose, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, whatever. Deal with it as we always do. We try to stay positive because that's the only way to really make it through this Accutane thing and acne in general, is to stay positive about it. The thing that's changed this week that I haven't been doing is that I started using a cleanser after my workout. So what I was doing is I was working out and I sweat a lot, and then I'd go to the locker room afterwards and I'd wash my face just with water. And I thought that was good enough, but I thought about it, and you know what? It's actually be a really good idea to use a cleanser. And when I went to my dermatologist last, they gave me this. It's called Aqua No Cleanser, and basically it's just glycerin and cetyl alcohol. So basically it just sterilizes my face. So I started using that. I washed my face, I put a little pea-sized amount on my hands and then put it on my face and then wash that off. And we're gonna see if that kind of helps me with my acne, because I think it might help get some of the dirt and the toxins out of my face after my workouts. Now something else that's cool that happened this week is when I went to my dermatologist on Monday, we had a regular checkup and stuff, but she said that we should try something called blackhead extractions. Now they used to call this blackhead surgery, but she informed me that that was a little too invasive. It's scary sounding, so they call it blackhead extractions now. And basically all it is that, you know, I lay backwards on a table and they take a little tool. It's kind of like a little circle. You've probably seen these before. And she just presses around my blackhead and hopefully it can pop it out. And now with my really deep blackheads, the ones that you can't actually push out like that, she had to take a little scalpel and cut it open a little bit and then push them out, which is kind of scary sounding. But I actually took a video right afterwards. I don't know if you'll be able to see the blood or whatever that came out of my forehead, but let's go over that right now and check it out. So I just had my first official acne extraction in my forehead. I just cleaned it up, and I shouldn't have done that, but because I wanted to show you guys what it looked like before, but this is what it looks like. You can see it's still kind of bleeding a little bit. And what she did was just basically pop all the blackheads out. And I'm coming back in a few days to do the rest of them. And yeah, I just wanted to record it while I'm still here at the doctor's doing crazy stuff. So that was nifty, actually, because I've never had my forehead blackheads come out. Those have always been super deep, and I remember having these since I was like 16 in high school. I just felt like they were always gonna be there. So it was really cool to see some of them come out. And I mean, it actually kind of hurt a little bit. It wasn't something that was like intolerable pain, but you know, it's just kind of like a pinprick over and over in my forehead. And what she did was she did this area right here, and then she wanted to leave the rest of my forehead for 2 weeks from now. So I'm going in 2 weeks and we're gonna do the rest of my forehead. And she said it'd be interesting to show you guys the difference between the area that she did and the area that she hasn't done, so you can see the contrast. So this is your close-up warning. We're gonna go real close now. You ready? Sorry, I kinda know how gross it is when I go all HD. I know I need to wash my face. I just got back from the gym, so it's kinda gross. Whatever. Anyways, now we're gonna move on to my new favorite part of these videos, which is me answering your questions. I think I have 5 questions from last week's video that were posted in the comments. So if you have any questions that you want me to answer in next week's video, leave them in this video. I'll look through them all before I make the next video, and maybe you'll get your comment featured. Let's go to the first one. First one is from Richard, and Richard says, I was wondering if soreness is a problem for you, because I tell you, man, after I run, my legs are sore the whole day and my lower back as well. If so, how do you deal with it? Soreness is actually not a problem for me at all. Accutane hasn't really made me any more sore as far as my muscles go, you know, and delayed onset of muscle soreness in the next few days after I hit a muscle group. It's weird because I hear a lot of people saying that they are really sore from Accutane, so I feel you and I understand, but it's not happening for me. One thing that I can suggest for you is that you stretch the muscle that you work right after you finish working it, as well as getting at least a gallon of water. You need lots of fluid in your body to move that calcium out of your muscle. Calcium is what makes you sore. So this next one's from Ryan Pope, and he asked me if I get any nosebleeds from Accutane. Now, only for about 2 or 3 days, I had this weird thing where the inside of my nose, on the inside of the wall right there, I was getting like a really dry spot, and it was kind of like scabby, a little bit bloody, like dried blood. It's kind of gross, sorry. But it wasn't really, it wasn't a nosebleed in the fact like that it was like gushing blood, or I had to use a tissue or blow blood out or anything like that. So I haven't got any sort of like epistaxis type of nosebleeds, just like dry areas in my nose, but now it's gone. This one's from Welts, the Big Show 97, and he says that he was using Cetaphil moisturizer, and then it started making his face really irritated and red, and he wants to know what I use or what I think about that. And that's funny, it's really funny actually, because I was using Cetaphil. I think what they did is they mixed a cleanser and a moisturizer in the same thing. And it's weird because everyone always suggests to use Cetaphil, right? It's like the #1 most suggested one, but when I used it, I had the same problem. I would moisturize with Cetaphil, and then 5-10 minutes later, my face was really dry and really red and itchy, and it was just horrible. I was like, this doesn't help at all. It makes my face super, super irritated. And then I switched over to Aveeno. Seriously, Aveeno is my favorite moisturizing product. I think it's Aveeno oatmeal or something like that. I think it's oatmeal, but it doesn't have the all the alcohols and stuff that Cetaphil has in it. So when you put it on your face, it's actually cooling. It's really like calming for your face, and you can leave it on and it's amazing. So check out Aveeno, brother. This next one comes from Gerard, and he asks, when you're going out about your day, do you feel really hot and dry when you're on Accutane? Because that's how I feel. Ever since forever, before Accutane, I always ran really hot. You know, people are in their car and stuff, and they're like, oh, this is nice temperature, and I'm sitting there sweating. My shirt's just like, So I've always been a really, really hot person, so I don't think Accutane has increased or decreased that at all. I'm still really hot when I go out. As far as dry, I mean, yeah, super dry. Everyone gets dry on Accutane. I've even gotten like kind of dry patches on the back of my arms, which I don't have anymore. But yeah, super hot and super dry. So the last question comes from Sam Bryant, and he says, horrible sunburns is usually a side effect when unprotected, not wearing sunblock. And I'm wondering if you've experienced any. I've only gone out in the sun for too long one time, and my face got really, really red. Like, you can literally feel the burn happening as soon as you walk out in the sun when you're on Accutane on a higher dosage like I am. So I got a sunburn. I was probably out in the sun for like 15-20 minutes, and for the next like 3 days my face was really red. I didn't get blisters. A lot of people will get blisters on their sunburn when they're on Accutane. I saw this one girl that was just covered because she went to the beach. So don't go in the sun for too long if you're on Accutane, and if you have to, you know, like for work or whatever, use a really, 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 really high protecting sunblock. But no, I haven't really experienced any like deadly sunburns, just that little one on the face. So that's it for this week, guys. Lots of interesting stuff. Got like cyst pops and question answers and all sorts of weird stuff this week. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. If you like it, if you want to send it on to your friends, please do. Please share it as much as possible. Otherwise, this is another week down, week 18. Hopefully week 19 is a little bit better. As always, we're always hoping that it'll get a little better, but we have to keep the patience. I'll see you guys next week. Play the dubstep.